Good morning, I'm Debra Pinkerton.
And I'm Jeff Coleman. Welcome to Morning Light.
The World Cup has captured our attention for the past month. Soccer fans from around the world have tuned in to watch their favorite team, praying they will advance. And we actually have seen them praying on the field. As we come together for these worldwide events, how can we spread the gospel? Well, our Morning Light panel will dive deep into this topic.
Well, coming up a little later in the show, when we surrender our rights to our ambitions and our plans, God has a way of calling each of us to the outer reaches of what some might call a comfort zone. That's exactly where he led Tad and Kid Jake straight into a mission only God could imagine. I traveled to sunny Erie, Pennsylvania to visit with this extraordinary couple.
It'll be a good story. Research shows athletes have a growing influence on us. A recent study by Barna Group shows something surprising. Most Americans believe sports figures have a greater influence than professional clergy or other faith leaders do. So we're talking about more than a 3-to-1 margin.
Maybe we
That's a lot.
We should hire coaches as pastors, too. That would help, right? Well, thanks to social media platforms, Christian athletes are sharing their faith more openly, from Tim Tebow to Steph Curry to Russell Wilson and Bethany Hamilton. Overall, about 64% say they think pro athletes have more influence in American society than professional faith leaders. It's easy to see faith leaders do not have the same impact they once had, I think, in the culture.
That is true. Well, the 2026 FIFA World Cup has become a platform for Bible societies and Christian ministries. Biblical organizations in the 3 host countries, the United States, Canada, and Mexico, have launched efforts that combine soccer, Bible engagement, and also prayer. Our Morning Light panel will find ways we can use an event like this to share the gospel with our friends and also our neighbors. Joining us this morning on our Morning Light panel, Pastor Chad Hogue, Michelle Keadle-Taylor, and Pastor Dave Biser. Thank you so much for being here with us. It is amazing how faith is using this organization to share the gospel. The American Bible Society, I found this interesting. They're promoting the Youth Sports New Testament. You can see pictures of it here. It's designed for youth athletes, coaches, parents, and team leaders. Mexico and Canada are doing something similar. What are your thoughts? I mean, they're really captivating this.
Right. I think it's a perfect launch pad to talk about faith. One of the wonderful things about soccer is it's not an individualistic sport. It's a team sport. You have to depend on each other to a level where nothing happens if you don't. And so there are teaching points and teaching elements that can be pulled over from soccer into faith life that I think are really neat. And using that as a springboard and touching somebody's life and saying, look, you're playing soccer, but understand this is a bigger story in life for you. And I think pointing that out is a perfect way to help people see faith in life. I'm a little disappointed that athletes are ahead of us professional clergy, but
I know.
right. That's a personal struggle, I guess. Right? I'll have to work on myself on that.
I think that really what that is, speaking from my experience when I was growing up and as an atheist and stuff, I think a lot of people stay away from God because they think God is just not this amazing, cool person that he is. And they have a false picture of who he really is. So having these tools like they're using at the World Cup, I think is a great way to break that barrier down a bit. So instead of turning those soccer fans away and being like, oh, the way they're living or whatever, embracing them and embracing the sense of community that they're bringing, actually. Right. It enables them to be able to see, oh, wow, like these professional faith leaders actually are cool people. They're not who we think they are. Because I think that's one of the biggest barriers, is just being real with people and meeting people where they're at.
Right.
Yeah. Pastor Hogue, what do you think about that?
Well, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. That I think the barriers is one of the things. I mean, Dave and I have talked before about how pastoring, sometimes people are surprised. Oh, you're a pastor? I thought a pastor did X, Y, and Z. It was like, no, we're breaking the barrier down, you know? But I think it's good that we take the opportunity when we have a multitude or a crowd like this. I mean, you look down through church history, John Wesley would have been all over this.
Oh, yeah.
And so what did the Apostle Paul, you know, like any
Billy
opportunity.
Graham?
Yeah, Billy Graham,
Right,
Any opportunity we have to funnel ministry into a situation like this. And one thought that I had was when you're talking about the prayer earlier, just simply asking somebody about prayer and just saying, is there anything I could pray for you about, breaks a barrier down. regardless of their belief system. It's amazing how that works.
And speaking about prayer, we can talk about the athletes praying on the field. We've seen that numerous times throughout the games.
Right.
Now, our James Hellman, he was at one of the games in Philly, fortunate to be there.
Yeah.
He actually saw it taking place.
Yeah.
So the study shows that athletes have a greater influence on Americans than professional faith leaders. So what type of impact do you think these athletes are having on us if they're there praying on the field?
Yeah.
In my experience, it's door opening. It's not. I don't know that it's necessarily life altering because you don't have a relationship with that athlete. But what I see happening in young people is that athlete opens a door for a possibility for that young person to seek it out for themselves.
Right.
And that's a great opportunity, I think, as an athlete to say, this is something that's important in my life. You might want to take a look at it. And then because at that point they're out of the picture. They're not going to mentor you or coach you into your faith. That's happening locally in a local congregation. But I think it's door opening.
Right, it makes you think.
Yeah, it definitely
yeah,
does.
right, yeah.
This is a person that you're in a way idolizing, or they're your superhero, and then this person's praying on the field. That's going to have an impact and an influence on you. So to me, seeing those images, I love seeing them. I always get emotional because I'm just like, oh, there's a sense of community, and then they're showing for all those thousands and thousands of fans that this is what they do before a meet.
Right.
This is important to them. They're normalizing that.
Right.
Public opinion doesn't matter.
Right. And I think I agree with all of that, but I think unfortunately in the sports world, from following sports my whole life, as all of us probably have, is that there's been those who have been disappointing. They come out and they have a testimony of Christ, and then a few years later something else, they go off the rails, right? But that still opens up the door you're talking about, because if they say, well, I'm not going to follow God because they were a hypocrite or something like that, you can probe that some more and say, well, why? So what's a non-hypocrite look like? And then you can have that conversation.
This is popping up on social media. We're seeing all of this, and we're seeing what they're doing. How can we internalize this? And we do things when we post things on social media. How can we make a difference?
Yeah, it's again, great question. I think it's important. Is this helpful? Does this advance the kingdom in some way? Does this encourage? Does it lift up? I think those have to be the qualifiers for us when it comes to social media. Is this something that's going to make the world a better place?
Yeah.
And then I look at it in just everyday interaction too. So all the videos I'm seeing where we have all the visitors coming and they're trying food and they're getting excited about things, and then just the welcoming response that locals have had, I look at it on the ground too. So not just on TV, but how do we interact with people on a daily basis? Are we welcoming, or do we put up a front like we're just closed off to them? Because if we're welcoming to people, then we are the hands and feet of Christ. And I love to preach that because it's true. We're the ones that we're taking the gospel in the world by our actions. And are we showing love, or are we, not showing love?
Right.
Yeah. Shining our light in a dark place. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry. It's amazing how we try to give social media a pass on that. Like, well, it doesn't count for social media. Actually, it does. Because sometimes you scroll and it's just nothing but anger and angst. And then every now and then you get something positive. You're like, wow, where'd that come from? So I think we need to follow that. Slow to speak. Quick to listen and slow to become angry.
Slow to judge, because I feel like social media, so many people judge
right away,
just
with no context.
They don't even know if it's true or not.
Yeah, exactly.
But the main thing is really sort of reaching out, and as the games are going to be coming to a close, this is a time when people are getting together and everyone's cheering for each other, high fives and things like that, and that's going to be coming to an end. How can we continue? How can we, we're all together, celebrating. How can we use this to make a difference?
I think it's a great springboard for small group ministry, talking about neighborhood ministries and things like that. And nothing else, it's that good neighborly feeling, like being able to just be in each other's space. And so what can you do to keep that going? What's the next thing? And help people see those next things. We do things like, the Country Music Awards. We'll do a watch party, or the Emmys or something. We'll have all kinds of watch parties at our house or our neighbors' houses, and we'll just use events or things that are happening. And we're hardly watching the TV, quite honestly. We're just hanging out with each other, you know, we're just having a great time with each other. And that's what's important. So we use those things as springboards. I think that's something we can do in the future, and just point that out, that this is what we've been doing. Keep doing that.
Yeah, I think too, those connections that people have made, even if they may be superficial or whatever, the thing is, as they're interacting with different cultures on the streets or and just around, like you said, watch parties, my prayer would be that those connections could continue and that they would be a door opening in the sense that people's mindsets might be a little bit shifted and might be more open and into coming together rather than being just sitting there judging each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Great idea.
Yeah, I think we need, I agree 100% about the connections, making connections, and sometimes those connections have to be something maybe you're not even interested in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a sports fan, but other areas that I've been involved in ministry, I've had to show interest where I didn't have a natural desire. So non-sports fans out there can just find a way to ask questions, be curious, to make that connection. Any way you can make that connection.
I guess it means stepping out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
It
And
does.
I think we all are so used to just walking the path,
Right.
Yeah.
but we have to realize we need to sort of step out. What are some ways to do that?
I think you have to be purposeful about it. It does not happen nonchalantly, because I think most of us by default have, we work our day, we go home, we want to close the door, and we want to pull the blinds, and we just
Right.
want to recover, right? We just, don't ask me to go back out, don't ask me to, host something at my house or something like that. And so I think you have to work it into the flow of your life and do it on purpose. Our friends are talking about when's our next pool party. I went to a soccer game last night with a couple of my neighbors, and our wives got together and sat in the pool together and chatted. And it was just you just do those things on purpose. Like they were saying, well, the men are going to be away. What are we going to do? Well, it's a great question, right? Instead of saying, well, the men are going to be away, I have an empty house to myself.
Right.
I mean, that's an option, but if the other option is to be with people, as much as and as difficult as that and challenging as that can be to our lives, especially if you're an introvert, right? Then I think it's if we purposefully plan those things into our lives, I think we can do that.
Yeah, we do. We need to live a purposeful life,
Correct.
and we need to use our time so very wisely.
And I think it's important to not always just assume you have to stay with people who are just like you.
Yeah.
So to expand your worldview or to get out of your comfort zone, it means maybe being around people who maybe think differently than you sometimes. And that, to me, is the real test, because you may not think the same things, but how do you interact in love and agree to disagree?
Right.
That is wonderful.
Right.
Love that.
Yep.
Thank you for talking about this morning. Coming up next on Morning Light, delivering foot care, new boots, basic necessities, and the love of God to those in need. That is the mission of Harvest 912. Jeff introduces us to the incredible founders next. You're watching Morning Light right here on Lighthouse TV.
Welcome back. Well, a few weeks ago, I traveled to Erie, Pennsylvania to catch up with two new friends, Tad and Kit Jakes. They had no plans of starting a nonprofit, and certainly not the one they currently lead. Here's the story of how Harvest 912 came to be.
We are Harvest 912, and you are sitting at our new facility in Erie, PA.
We have a couple of different outreach programs. We have a mobile foot care clinic that we think is the only one in the country, and that we operate about 30 times a year. We provide medical foot care, new boots, and basic street survival kinds of supplies to folks who are homeless here in Erie. That's our original outreach. And then we have MIC, which is our veteran focus one.
Which is our missing in community, and we go out to the encampments and reach out to people that don't go to the shelters and stay in the encampments, and a lot of those are veterans.
We really try to just meet people where they are, make their lives a little bit easier for them. We're not there to judge them for whatever part of a situation they're in or whatever stage of a situation they're in. Our goal is to build trust and build relationships and try to help them to get into a better situation, whatever that looks like for them.
And provide dignity.
Yeah.
Respect and dignity, something that they don't get. People don't even look at them on the streets, and we take the time to get to know them. I used to be a law enforcement officer. Back in the day, I would look down. Those were people that were potential clients, to say. And I think I learned from that. And it gave me more of I could be there. And knowing what I know now about homelessness, any of us could be there.
That, I think, is the biggest thing, and this is my own little psychological theory, about why people don't look and turn away. It's because they have this existential anxiety when they see homeless people, knowing that they could be there, not wanting to admit they could be there.
You think that's what it is?
I do.
I think that's part of it.
I think that's part of it, yeah. Well, and fear, a little bit of fear.
And
like,
fear.
What are these people going to want from me? I don't have anything, and actually what we found is, I think a lot of it is too that they really do feel like they don't know what to do. So it's an uncomfortable situation. If I look at you and I can't help you, then what, right? So we've started, what we do in our cars is we keep little string bags with a bottle of water and some snacks and, a few other little things in there. And instead of giving money, we just give them that.
Hygiene bag.
Yeah, hygiene bag. And we give those out to anybody in the church who wants them. Anybody who wants them, we just say, put them in your car. And that way you've got something to give to somebody. I think the only way you get past it is to talk to people and and realize that they're people.
Yeah.
And they have amazing stories and they're amazing people. I mean,
And I also think God has something to do with it too. He puts you in contact with people you're supposed to be in contact with. Maybe not all of them, but that was in our case. They all know the bus. I mean, everybody knows the bus in that community. And it's kind of fun. There's excitement.
they are.
They're very excited when they see the bus pull up. There's a process we go through. We have to set up inside and we open the doors and there's a curtain that we put. They sit patiently. We don't have people come rushing the bus. They wait patiently. I think it's something they really enjoy doing, coming on board the bus, getting their feet washed.
That is interesting. Like they'll bring along, if somebody, they got a friend that they're with or whatever, and that person hasn't been on the bus before, they'll just kind of like herd them along. Like, no, it's cool, dude. Like, it's okay. They can touch your feet. It's okay.
Still to come on Morning Light, Harvest 912 is growing, rallying support from local doctors and volunteers to a major boot manufacturer. It's a story both Tad and Kit say is impossible to explain without God. That's up next. Welcome back. It is worth noting Tad and Kit Jake's ministry has already expanded to Arizona, but the way it's growing defies any normal business model. Here's more.
On the bus, we carry 75 gallons of water. We've got 2 podiatry stations in the back, and those are just chairs and a wash basin. And so the folks come in and we can wash their feet. We've got running hot water on both sides. And then we have doctors that come with us. They do basic foot care. And then after they get done on that section of the bus, they walk down a step or two and they're in the
shoe store.
The shoe store. And they get fitted with it. They get fitted with
basically,
it.
yep. We usually have 2 doctors and 4 volunteers.
And we've used to do it with, it would just be he and I, 2 volunteers and 2 doctors, and that's actually plenty. We've added more volunteers because people want to volunteer and there were no spots with only 2. So it gets crowded. I usually don't even get in the bus anymore. I just
She's
stay
usually
outside.
out. She's the outdoor
I'm the
coordinator.
I'm
The MC. Yeah.
So,
Lots of praying on the bus. What's interesting is a lot of them will come on and go, you're not washing my feet. I'm not going to have that. And the response there is, well, then you're not getting shoes. And that's the rule. If you want new shoes, you have to get your feet looked at. And from there, it's you just break down barriers and you start chatting. And there's more laughter on that bus than anything. We've had maybe one
super grouchy guy.
One really bad person that we had to escort off the bus at over 4 years. And how many people?
2,000.
2,000. You get excited about our outreach and we go, I've made the mistake of going, I need to do this. And it was
God wants me to do this.
And
it's really Tad wants me to do this.
Right. And I've fallen into that trap a few times, but he steered me back in the right direction. And I'm learning. I don't always know, but for the most part, now it's getting easier.
Yeah, and 912 comes up quite a bit, and that kind of smacks us around a little bit, and at least gives us an idea of whether we're going the right way sometimes.
That's
that
the
has been
code.
your the way that God has confirmed your steps is this 9.5 shoe.
Yes.
Incredible.
The thing that actually energizes me and the thing I like the best is, like, I'll go grab one of those guys and go have a cup of coffee. You know, I mean, I just like talking to them. They're my buds.
They are. On the MIC team, one of our street nurses said, you know, I don't really like my friends. I like the people out in the camps better.
But you still love your friends.
Absolutely.
We love our friends, but
Absolutely.
she was like, yeah, they just want to talk about Kate Spade, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not into that either. So.
It has strengthened my belief. I'm more close to God now I've ever been in my entire life. I feel like Noah, a little late, but that this was the timing. My faith is so important to me. It affects my real job. It affects everything I do now. I find myself constantly praying, and for others, not for me. And what do you want me to do next? I am not afraid to take that next step, whatever it is.
I was baptized 1 month before we met the guy on the corner that started this whole thing. I grew up in a house where, I just used this line, Jesus was a decoration on the mantle at Christmas. That's how I grew up. That was religion in my world. My faith really has probably always been there, but I didn't really know what to call it or where to put it. And now I do. And when I'm driving it in the morning, I'm like, okay, what you got for me today? Just let me know what to do. Yeah, I'll do it.
Beautiful. To learn more about Tad and Kit's nonprofit, head over to harvest912.org. Stay with us. We're back right after the break. Welcome back. February 2nd, 2001, a day many won't forget. In York County, a man wielding a machete entered North Hopewell Winterstown Elementary School, attacking 11 students and 2 adults, one of them the principal, Narina Bensel. She shares how faith, hope, and love are the guiding forces through grief and recovery. You will not want to miss this very special edition of Morning Light. Now, Debra, your closing thoughts.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, the World Cup ends this weekend. One team will win, one country will be overjoyed. The other 47 countries who participated will reflect. The World Cup brought the world together. We cheered, we high-fived. Now the games are almost over, and we'll get back to what we were doing before the game started. But should we? Shouldn't we continue to cheer and high-five our friends and reach out to our neighbors? Because as the Christian nonprofit Cru says, the victory goes beyond the cup. The Bible teaches us to love our neighbors, so maybe we don't go back to the normal and we set a new routine. In Mark 12:30-32, it says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and then to love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater. Something to think about as the World Cup games come to an end. For Jeff and the entire Morning Light team, I'm Debra Pinkerton. Thanks for watching. Check on your neighbors, and we'll see you again tomorrow.